Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk-adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-00 or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Broadcasting from coast to coast,
city to city, coast to coast.
It's time for the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. If it's happening in sports, it's being talked about right here. And here's your host, Ryan Hickey.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome on into the Ryan Hickey Show right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Thank you for making us a part of your Thursday morning here, as we got a busy one. USOpen underway at Brookline Country Club in Massachusetts. We'll keep you updated all throughout at least the next 2 hours as we roll along till 11 a.m. Eastern on who's playing well, who is struggling. We know the course is always going to be tough. The USOpen always tries to have higher scores, as high as possible. So we'll keep you updated on who's playing well and who is not for the next 2 hours. Plus, also have a lot other stuff to dive into as well. So why even waste any more time? Let's jump right into it. As always, right, every show, we're coming to you live from where else? With the Big Italy Pizzeria Studios. And whether it's great pizza, hot heroes, and phenomenal dinners, make sure you check out BigItalyPizza.com to find a location near you. Game 6 NBA Finals is tonight. I think the Celtics are winning. I think they're forcing in Game 7 in large part. I think tonight we are getting a Jayson Tatum game. The Celtics season, obviously, since they're down 3-2, it's on the line. And you need your best player, if you're Boston, to step up, take the game over, and set the tone. And that's what I think we're going to get tonight from Jayson Tatum at home at TD Garden with your season on the line. I think we are getting a vintage Tatum game tonight for what really would be the first time in this NBA Finals. We've seen glimpses in the postseason. We've seen a 46-point game, season on the line, down 3-2 in Milwaukee, second round of the playoffs. Tatum has showed you, and showed you regions and flashes throughout the postseason why he was first team All-NBA. We have yet, though, to see it in the NBA Finals. I think tonight we are finally going to get a vintage, true Jayson Tatum star kind of game. In big games like this, right? The NBA is one of those leagues where you truly need your star player to set the tone for the rest of the team. And if Jayson Tatum, I think he's going to tonight play clean basketball, play crisp basketball. And I think that style of play is infectious, will carry over to the rest of the team. And honestly, that's all the Celtics need to do to win tonight. There's no magic, formula. There's no praying to whatever God you prefer to believe in for a miracle tonight. The key to the Celtics' victory for game number 6 and extending the series, it's very simple. Playing clean, crisp basketball. That's it. You don't need a heroic effort from Jayson Tatum. You don't need a miracle performance from, let's say, Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart or another Al Horford, 26-point effort like you showed in game 1. You got to keep it simple. You limit your turnovers, play good defense, rebound the basketball. That's the key to success here. That is the key to victory for Boston. It is not simple. It's not complicated. And I think tonight, Jayson Tatum is going to set the tone, playing crisp basketball, playing clean basketball. That will be, for me, infectious spreads to the rest of the team. And I think that is how the Celtics are going to win tonight. Like, let's go for what it is. Jayson Tatum, again, we talked about him being a star, and he is. But they don't need Jayson Tatum to have a Steph Curry-like performance like he had in Game 3 where Steph scored 43. You don't need a LeBron-like performance or Kevin Durant-like performance like we've seen them do so many times in the playoffs where they just have insane games, carry the team, score 40, 45, 50 points in order to win. You don't need, if you're the Celtics, Jayson Tatum to score 46 points like he did in that Bucks game number 6 on the road in Milwaukee. You don't need another performance like that in order to win Game 6 tonight. You really don't. The only thing I'm looking at for Jayson Tatum, the two areas I am most focused in tonight, I think will have the biggest impact in a victory, are assist numbers and turnover numbers. That's it. If you can have Jayson Tatum's assist number be in the high single digits, 7, 8, 9, maybe even in the low double digits, 10, 11, 12, and you keep that turnover number low, let's say 4 or less, I think the Celtics are winning tonight. That to me is guaranteeing a Game 6 victory. If you can have Jayson Tatum, forget about scoring for a second here. If he can become just a playmaker in this offense while also at the same time limiting his own turnovers, not giving the Warriors second and third chances on offense, I think the Celtics are winning tonight, and they're going back to the Bay for Game 7. Like, we really have seen so far 2 consistent things from Jayson Tatum so far in these first 5 games of the NBA Finals. He's been scoring at an inefficient clip, right? He has struggled from the field. We know the first game he was 3 of 17 from the floor. Even in this last game, number 5, he scored well and shot 50% from the field. It truly didn't feel like Jayson Tatum was taking over, and a lot of those misses came, unfortunately, later in the game, especially in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics really needed him. So we know he has struggled scoring, especially at an efficient clip so far in the finals through 5 games. And also we know that he has struggled with the turnovers. Right? He has right now leads all finals players with turnovers in 18. He has struggled with ball security, whether it's his own dribbling, whether it's passing. It has been a struggle. Those have really been the 2 consistent areas so far from Jayson Tatum in these 5 games in the finals. But here's the thing, though. The Celtics have shown you so far they can win even when Jayson Tatum isn't lighting up the scoreboard. They don't need him to score 30, 35, 40 points a night in order to carry them to victory. The Celtics are a deep, balanced team. So you don't need one player to just take over the game, go beast mode, and drag it to the end. All you need really is fundamental basketball. That's it. And really for Jayson Tatum, I mean, one of the areas that he has done at times so far in this postseason, I think we saw in game number 1, is have an impact on the game that's not scoring. And for me, when we talk about star players, right, we talk about superstars and best players in the league, I think one of the separating factors of, let's say, a star from a superstar, a good player from a great player, one of the big-time separating factors is the ability to impact the game in a positive way when things aren't going your way, when you're not scoring 35 or 40 points in a game. It's the ability to, whether it's play good defense on the other end, force turnovers, get rebounds, make life hell for the other team scoring, and if you're not scoring, make sure they're not scoring as well. It's playmaking. It's assists. It's setting your teammates up to get good looks. It's sucking the defense in order to make the extra pass to get your teammate open. It's making plays. It's taking and diverting attention away from other players that allow them to have success. So, and we have seen that so far from Jayson Tatum at different points in this postseason, where even though he's not scoring, even though he's not, scoring at an efficient rate and lighting up the scoreboard in terms of points-wise in the stat column, he has shown the ability to impact the game in a positive way in other areas of the game. I think, to me, that's why when I look at Jayson Tatum tonight, and when I look at what he has to do in order to have success, that's why the 2 areas I'm pointing to are assists and turnovers. Star players, great players, find ways to make a winning impact that sometimes doesn't have to do with points. Tatum in game number 1, to his credit, he was 3 of 17 from the floor in that in the first game of the finals on the road in Golden State. But one of the reasons why one of the reasons why Boston was able to have that big time fourth quarter comeback was because Jayson Tatum finished with 13 assists in that game. He realized, you know what, my shots aren't falling. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set my teammates up. I'm going to make sure at least if I'm not hitting shots, I'm going to put them in a position to hit shots. And he has done that consistently throughout the postseason. Sure, he struggled at times with efficiency. Sure, at times he struggled scoring. But the one area he has really been consistent about, I think, has been playmaking. And that's why tonight, assist numbers are going to be a big-time stat to look at for Jayson Tatum. Sure, he'll score. But if he can also make life easier for Marcus Smart, for Jaylen Brown, for Al Horford, for Robert Williams, that is the key to victory for the Boston Celtics. You know, the game plan is not, Jayson Tatum scored 40 points. The game plan for the Celtics is Jayson Tatum, just set the offense up. Keep it moving. Get the ball moving. Get good looks. Take care of the basketball. Play good defense. That is the game plan here for Boston and Ime Udoka in Game 6. It's not just Tatum, carry us. Jayson Tatum, we need a miracle. Please. Please do what Steph Curry did in Game number 4. When the Warriors season, down 2-1 in Boston for Game 4 was on the line, he scored 43 points and 10 rebounds. You don't need, if you're the Celtics, that kind of performance from Tatum tonight. You don't need him to go out and be a hero. You need, honestly, fundamental basketball. It's not sexy stuff, folks. I get it. It's not, score 40 and let's just have ourselves a night that's easy to go. It's not sexy what we're talking about here, but the simplicity of what we're talking about highlights why the Celtics have been the better team and why, truly, if you just keep it simple, the Celtics are winning this game. That's it. If you are able to move the ball, set the offense up, and get good looks, this team is going to score. This team is going to win. And on the flip side, if you just take care of the basketball, don't give it away like you're Oprah during Christmas time, you are going to win. We talk about Jayson Tatum. I mentioned it before. He's led the NBA Finals of all players in turnovers. He has 18 turnovers through 5 games of the finals. He has 95 turnovers for the entire postseason this year. By the way, that's an NBA postseason record. LeBron had the record with 94. Jayson Tatum has surpassed him. 95 turnovers in one postseason is an NBA record. Cut it down. Take care of the basketball. I don't know if you need stickum on your hands when you're dribbling. I don't know if it's getting LASIK surgery before the game starts and you could see the passing lanes better. I don't know what it is. I don't care what you got to do. You got to, though. It is imperative. Cut down on the turnovers. I am begging you, Jayson Tatum, and I'm begging you, the Celtics. And the reason why I'm putting this on Tatum is because we mentioned it before. The star player on a team sets the tone. The Celtics are going to go as Jayson Tatum goes. If he is able to, forget about score, get good looks, facilitate the basketball, and more importantly, take care of the basketball. Don't throw it away. Don't dribble into traffic. When he's driving to the hole, not driving for a foul, but driving to score and finish at the rim. If he is going up strong, even not having the layups or the shots fall, but he's getting fouled, but doing so in a way that is strong, where he's balanced, that is a key to success for the Celtics. Too many times, Jayson Tatum has dribbled into traffic, looking for a foul, hasn't gotten the call, and it's been a turnover going the other way. That has killed the Warriors, or that's killed the Celtics in this playoffs, in these finals. The turnover numbers are alarming, but not just that. The points off of turnovers are also insanely alarming. The Warriors are a deadly team at scoring on the break. You have to limit that in the biggest way possible. One of the ways is cleaning up the turnovers. That, to me, when it comes to turnovers, when it comes to taking care of the basketball or assist numbers, those are the two biggest areas I'm looking at tonight. It's very simple, but that is how the Celtics are going to win Game 6. And that, to me, the reason why it starts with Jayson Tatum is because a star player sets the tone for the rest of the team. If he's able to come out strong, get the crowd into it, right? You know that Boston crowd's going to be frenzied. You get off to a hot start, get some juice in that building, that all of a sudden alleviates some of the pressure from Marcus Smart. Take some of the attention away from Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. And now you allow them to play more free. You will give them better looks, whether it's on the offensive end of the floor, because you're commanding double teams from the Warriors defense. Whether it's on the defensive end, and you are buying in, causing turnovers. Instead of giving turnovers away, you are now causing turnovers. You are making Steph Curry's life hell. You are not giving Andrew Wiggins nearly the amount of clean looks that he got in game number 5. It starts on both ends of the floor from Boston. But the recipe for success is very simple. Play clean basketball. So far through 5 games, the Warriors up 3-2. I think for me, this series is more about the Celtics struggles than is the Warriors winning. Like the Celtics have shot themselves in the foot all throughout these 5 games, and especially in their 3 losses. Turnovers, bad defense, bad shot selection at times where they just chucked up shots for no reason. Lack of focus. It sounds simple, but there have been times where the Celtics just don't seem locked in. The end of game number 4 where they just couldn't score and scored 6 points in the final 7 minutes as Steph Curry's going off. The first 6 minutes of game number 5, they came out slow, lackadaisical. They didn't look like they cared. It was game 5 of the finals in which the game 5 winner in a series tied 2-2 wins 80% of the time. And they came out like it was a game in January. Lack of focus, turnovers, bad defense, bad shot selection. It's all been the reason why right now the Celtics are down 3-2. Again, if they play good basketball, and for me, the best game they played was game 3, they won that game. If you can get back to that, they're winning this series. They're winning the finals. It's a very simple strategy. Don't turn the ball over and have your best player, Jayson Tatum, forget about scoring 40 points. Facilitate. Get the offense rolling. It's going to be very important for me for Jayson Tatum to set the tone. Games like this with your season on the line is when you need your best player to step up. Tatum, to his credit, did so in the Bucks series, down 3-2, 46 points. You don't need another 46-point effort tonight in Game 6 against the Warriors. You need, though, a facilitating. You need a playmaking Jayson Tatum tonight on the offensive end, and for him to take care of the basketball also on the offensive end for the Celtics to win. I think we're going to get both of those areas, and that, to me, is leading to a Game 6 victory for the Celtics tonight. So curious your thoughts here as we have a lot of construction going on behind me. Hopefully it doesn't come over the mic too much. We'll make sure to close the window when we go to break here. But what are your thoughts tonight in game number 6? What is your confidence level in the Celtics making this a 7-game series? And also, is the most important player for Boston tonight Jayson Tatum? Is a player they need to step up the most the guy who is first-team All-NBA, or you're looking at someone else like Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown or Robert Williams? Who is the most important player in game number 6 tonight? We'll get your thoughts here at Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You can tweet me on Twitter at Ryan Hickey Show. Ryan Hickey Show. Also on YouTube, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. When we return, Phil Mickelson will tee off in a few hours at the USOpen. Should he get booed by the fans for his comments and then ditching the PGA Tour for the Live Tour? We'll discuss that when we return. Listen to the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Yes, showtime, which means construction. Backhoe, jackhammer, what the hell. Well, the Ryan Hickey Show is trying to go get some hot takes about Jayson Tatum. Thanks, years.
Your children have the right car seat for their age and size. Don't think you know. No. Go to safercar.gov/the-right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't be in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stop tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stop.
What the hell?
A stop for social change that's not about making money.
Some hot takes about Jayson
Instead,
Tatum.
invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF.
Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Namdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Ryan Hickey Show right here. Where else? The Worldwide Sports Radio Network. All right. Sorry about that. Sound is coming from every which way. We got that figured out. We got the construction in the background quieted down for a little bit. Speaking of quieting down, what is the reaction going to be surrounding Phil Mickelson this weekend in his first appearance on U.S. soil since obviously leaving and ditching the PGA Tour to go play for the LIV Tour? For me, I don't expect Phil Mickelson to get booed by the crowd this week, and I don't think he should. I don't think fans should be booing Phil Mickelson for his decision because here's the honest truth. This is what I believe personally, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think this is the majority thought when it comes to athletes and sports and our rooting fandom. 99% of the time, we don't really care what athletes say off the field, what they do off the field. For the most part, all we care about is how do you play in between the white lines? How do you play on the field, on the course, on the ice? As long as you're playing well, look, I'll speak for myself here, but I think a lot of other fans will echo the same thought. It's not you can do whatever the hell you want, but basically, You can do whatever the hell you want. Performance, and when we root for our teams and our favorite players, a lot of it has to do with play on the field. If you're playing well, you get away with a lot more. There's been plenty of players that said some bad things. There are plenty of players that have had some bad actions, whether it's legal or illegal, whether it's morally, ethically right. But hey, I hate to say it. I hate to really boil it down, but can't lie to you. As long as you're playing well, everything else is tolerated. Right? As long as Phil, if you're a big Phil fan, as long as he's in contention, as long as he's, still giving you the thumbs up, still being the same old lefty, maybe getting a few birdies, maybe, making some noise here at the US Open, everything else is forgotten about. Everything else, I don't want to say is forgiven, but is tolerated because you want to see your favorite player play well. And in this case for Phil Mickelson, I think that's going to be the case. And look, we've already started to see it, right? In the few practice rounds he's played at Brookline this week, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you've seen some social media videos filter on out. He's been cheered by fans. He's had a big time following. He is really, almost had it kind of be like normal. Like you would forget if you just woke up, if you're in a coma or in a bubble under a rock, let's say, for the last few months, and you just woke up on Tuesday, looked on social media and saw the following of Phil, you would have thought, you know what? Yeah, another major. Just same old. Nothing has happened. No controversy has been surrounding Phil. The fans are there. They're chanting his name. He's giving the thumbs up. Everything is kind of like good old times. And you know what? I think that's the way it should be. I think that's the way it should be. I know things public and PR-wise have not been, let's say, smooth for Phil and really any of the other golfers that have left the PGA Tour in order to join the LIV Golf Tour. And I don't want to say that the media cares more about morals than we do, but that has been the bigger story for media, for folks that cover golf for a living. The big questions have been not about how Phil's going to play. It's been about, accepting the money. And I don't want to say that I care more about play than morals, but again, I'm going to be just real with you here. I fall into the category. I fall into that category of rooting for the player for what they do on the field, on the course, not so much their politics, their beliefs, their actions off the field. Like, I'll be honest, I don't hold any ill will towards Phil. He's playing this weekend. I'll be watching. I will absolutely be watching to see how Phil plays. And if he's towards the top, I'll be rooting for Lefty. He's always a guy that I've, rooted for. He's always a guy that I've enjoyed seeing have success. I loved when he won the PGA Championship last year. Like, he's a guy that's just a fun, kind of loving, almost, say it this way, one of the more down-to-earth golfers that the PGA Tour has seen. He has his pitfalls. He has his own wrongdoings, right? But can't pretend like we don't. Like, I can't sit here. I guess I'll say this. My biggest thing is that I don't feel like I'm holier than thou. I don't want to pretend like I am holier than thou and judge Phil Mickelson for his morals, for his ethics, for basically being a mercenary. When you know what? I have no idea how I'll react in that situation. Like, it's so easy to say. And one of the things that actually has bothered me about this entire LIV Golf movement, when players like Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson have gone, there's been a lot of criticism for them leaving the tour and going to basically take the money that comes from questionable areas and is run by very questionable people in the Saudi Arabians. But let me just say this, right? I can't sit here and pretend like I would turn down $200 million if I was Phil Mickelson. I can't sit here and know for a fact that I would say, no, I'm good, and not take a cash grab when it's presented to me. It's a hell of a lot easier to sit in the seat that I'm sitting in right now, talking to you guys. It's a hell of a lot easier to be a member of the media and criticize Phil and Dustin Johnson and Sergio Garcia and whoever else is, making the jump. It's a hell of a lot easier to criticize them for taking the money, taking the cash, even though they know where that money is coming from is not, let's say, from the most ethically sound basis. It's a lot easier to criticize when you are not in that position, when you are in no position to be getting and earning that kind of money. Like doing the radio show, I would probably never be offered $200 million to do any sort of media. But do I know for a fact if I was, I could sit here and say, no, I'm going to turn it down? I can't. I'd like to think it. I'd like to think that deep down, I'm a good person and morally I'll do the right thing and not allow money to kind of sometimes buy ethics. I'd like to think it. And I really try every day to kind of live that way and just try to be a good person. But the reality is, again, $200 million sitting in front of your face, sitting in front of my face, I have no idea how I'm going to react. We never really have to think about it because 99.9% of us will never be in that situation to either reject a big-time paycheck or accept it. So I like to think I'd follow my moral compass in that situation. I like to think if I'm Phil Mickelson, I wouldn't need the money. But you know what? Some guys are different. Dustin Johnson basically wants to play less. And you know what? If you're Dustin Johnson, you want to spend more time with your family. You're getting an offer to get $125 million to play less events, and it's guaranteed money. Again, it's hard to say no. So I really can't sit here and hold a grudge towards any of the golfers that decide to leave the PGA Tour, and join the Live Golf Tour. I get, look, are they backed by the most ethically sound people? Absolutely not. They don't support anything they do. But with that said, I can't sit here and pretend like I would say no to the money. Ethics aside, I'm holier than thou. Phil, I can't believe you took the money. You sell out. I can't. So if I can't sit here and without a shadow of a doubt say that I would say no, I would do what John Rahm did, who, to John Rahm's credit, I commend him, and I think what he did is extremely admirable and respectable. He has gotten an offer from Live Golf. He said no. He spoke about this week how the money for him is not, he could already retire if he wanted to. He already has enough money to live off of. He wants to do things the right way. Credit to John Rahm, and he wants to play in the PGA Tour because for him that means more. Credit to him. I respect the hell out of that. But for others, it's about, I hate to say it, a business. So many times as fans, we assume, right, the players are playing the game for the love of the game, to win championships, right? We always assume golfers are out there to win every major. We always assume quarterbacks, head coaches, pitchers, centers in hockey. We all always assume they are playing for the love of the game, for the competition, to win championships, and the money for them doesn't matter. Well, for a lot of guys, it's not the case. For a lot of guys, they'll go where the biggest paycheck is. For a lot of the guys, they'll do whatever it takes to get the most money, and they're motivated more by money than, let's say, by winning. And I think we've seen that with Phil, with Dustin Johnson, with Graham McDowell, with Sergio, with other players that have joined Live. They're telling you, look, the money's more important than, let's say, the history of the PGA Tour, than playing in some of the most prestigious tournaments that have, great history and great following behind it. They said, you know what? I'll take the cash. I'm playing golf for, as a job. I'm getting the most money. I'm going to take it. Just like it for us in any industry we're in, money would have a big time factor, right? Most of the time we're working for the weekend. Most of the time we're working to get that paycheck or get that bonus or get a raise or get a promotion or maybe get a new job that has, a bigger title, but maybe more money, less responsibility, whatever it is, right? We're always kind of working, get the most money possible. And if that comes with working less, that's obviously the ideal situation. So for some golfers, that's their MO. I can't hate on that. I can't sit here and pretend like, oh, they're ruining the game. This is, a disgrace to sports all over. I can't. So if I can't pretend to be better than Phil or DJ, then I can't hate on them. And I'm not. I have no ill will towards Phil. And I don't think anyone else should either. And also, let's not forget. Look, each athlete that we root for the most part, has some sort of downfall, some sort of issue, right? Let's not pretend Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, and others are the first golfers with controversy off the course. Let's call it Tiger Woods. Let's just call it for what it is. Tiger Woods, by far, has the biggest fan base of any pro athlete in sports, maybe history. He is golf. He is larger than golf, right? Tiger Woods is almost like a cult following where anytime he is playing, anytime he is in contention, you look at the ratings, you look at the following, you look at the course and where the crowd is. It is about Tiger Woods. Has Tiger Woods been a model citizen throughout his entire career? Has Tiger Woods done questionable things, questionable ethics, questionable actions? He absolutely has. We all know what happened with his infidelity and his former wife. He's had prescription drug issues. He's fallen asleep at the wheel multiple times. He's had scary instances throughout his career. Does anyone stop loving Tiger Woods because he was cheating on his wife? Does anyone stop loving, is hating on Tiger Woods because of his prescription drug problems and struggles, we'll say? Sure, maybe a small minority, yes. But for the most part, Tiger's fandom, Tiger's following, you can make the argument, is even stronger now than it was a few years ago because we have seen the struggles of Tiger Woods. He almost, in those moments of his lowest, in rock bottom, has looked human. And that human connection where Tiger Woods, for the most part, has been robot. When he was in the 2000s, 2000, let's say 2010, 2009-ish, where he was really at his peak, dominating, winning, he was a robot. There was no, he was never hammed up with the crowd. He wasn't really personable. It was hard to relate to Tiger Woods, in part because he was just focused, winning. Then all of a sudden you see some pitfalls. Then you see some controversy in his life and you realize, oh yeah, at the end of the day, he is just like you and me. He has his own struggles. And that public display, that almost public expose of his life almost made it even more easier to root for Tiger. And then when he makes his comeback and wins the Masters eventually in 2019, it was just like a coronation. It was, I think, emotional for a lot of Tiger fans out there. You can make the argument his greatest win ever. The ones fans remember the most because there was a long time where Tiger was counted and doubted and ruled out. I'll be honest, I was in that crowd. I didn't think Tiger would ever win a major again. But the fact that he got back on top after being so low for so long, I think made it easier to root for Tiger. And those struggles, I think, made him more relatable. So again, Tiger Woods has had his own issues. The pinnacle of golf, the face of golf, the guy of the golf world. Tiger Woods had his own problems, had his own moral, ethical struggles. So let's just not pretend and sit here and pretend, oh man, Phil Mickelson, bad guy for golf. He is the only bad guy on that golf's ever seen. I can't believe he's taking money. Plenty of other athletes, plenty of other golfers have had their own struggles off the course, ethically, morally, legally. If you still root for Tiger, if you are still a Tiger fan, I don't see how you can root against Phil, how you can boo Phil. Again, I think there'll be a very small minority this week at Brookline that will actually boo Phil. We'll see at 147 when he tees off. I expect the crowds to be pro Phil, loud, following. And honestly, again, if you were under a rock for, let's say, the last 8 months, if you just watched golf for the first time this year, have no idea about any of the live golf story, any of the backlash, any of the backstory, and you just watched today, I don't think you'd be able to tell a difference between Phil's following today versus, like, let's say last year. I think the crowd will be pro Phil. I think they should be. So I'm curious your thoughts here. I'm pro Phil. I'm not saying I support Phil supporting, some questionable background. I'm just saying I hold no ill will towards Phil. I'm going to root for him this weekend because I can't pretend. Like, number one, I could be in his position and say, I'm good with the money. But also, too, I can't pretend like he's the only athlete that's had their own struggles off the course. I will cheer for Phil. I hope he does well. How about yourself? Love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Worldwide Sports America is where we're broadcasting live from. Also, check out the Ryan Hickey Show page on Facebook. You can have the full live stream of the show right there. Throw us a like. You'll get a notification any and every time the show goes live. Plus, check out some good content of the show as well. We're also on Twitter. You can tweet me at Ryan Hickey Show. Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter or on YouTube. Live on the Tube, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Speaking of the US Open, we have a 4-way tie so far early on through the first round of the US Open. Matthew NeSmith, Colin Morikawa, Jon Rahm, and Sebastian Munoz, all 2 under par, roughly, let's say, so far through the front 9 of the US Open. So it's playing tough, but you have some low scores here. So far, Colin Morikawa, Jon Rahm, the 2 big names that are 2 under. You have Max Homa, a crowd favorite, 1 under. Rory McIlroy, coming off of the RBC Canadian Open last week and kind of been one of the most vocal defenders of the PGA Tour. He's also 1 under through 7 holes. I'm hoping that my pick this week is Brooks Koepka. I'm a big Brooks guy. That is my favorite golfer to watch. He has been a US Open machine. Here's a stat for you. Kyle Porter of CBS Sports put this out there, and it's mind-blowing. The last 4 US Opens, Brooks Koepka has only lost to 4 golfers. Think about that. The 4 US Opens, Brooks Koepka has only lost to 4 golfers. 4 golfers total in 4 years have beat him. He's won twice. Guy's been an absolute machine when it comes to the US Open, and hopefully we'll see him tee off a little bit later this afternoon. Hopefully all his struggles and injury concerns in the past, he could put back and get another vintage Brooks Koepka US Open performance. When we return here on the Ryan Hickey Show, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, the attention on them is going to be cranked up to the max starting this season. There's one reason for it. I'll explain why when we return. You'll listen to the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council. Okay, Simon, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. And what do people normally wear?
Clothes.
Exactly. So now Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Clothes keep us warm, they look good, and if we go out without them, the neighbors will talk. So it's important to know how to get dressed. Here's how it's done. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole, or you have to start all over. If you're wearing a tie, it goes over, round, through, and pull tight. Tuck your shirt into your pants and zip up your flap. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears.
I love bunnies.
Good to know. Now remember, spots don't go with stripes, socks don't go with sandals, and if you've tucked in your shirt, wear a belt. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2men2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Ryan Hickey Show on this Thursday morning. If you want a good laugh at my expense, I will direct you towards Instagram and TikTok, both at Ryan Hickey Show on both of those platforms. Ryan Hickey Show on Instagram, Ryan Hickey Show on TikTok, where last week I did a video reviewing some peanut butter. I'm a huge Jif peanut butter supporter. I have 2 peanut butters and jelly sandwiches, 2 a day, every day. That is the staple lunch for literally since I was in kindergarten. So I've had a ton of peanut butter, and it's only been Jif. Well, now with this salmonella recall, I'm out of Jif right now. So I'm trying to find some good peanut butter in the interim. I tried Smucker's peanut butter. If you want to check out that peanut butter review, it is on both those platforms on Instagram and TikTok, Ryan Hickey Show. But also, the reason why you can have a laugh at my expense is, let's just say, there was not one take to the video. There are a few screw-ups, a few mess-ups. And if you want to get the blooper reel, if you want to get the outtakes, if you will, I compiled those and put them on Instagram and TikTok. So if you want a good laugh at my expense, check out the Ryan Hickey Show on Instagram and TikTok to get a good laugh at me just screwing up and being unable to talk. All right, let's talk quarterbacks here in the NFC. The heat is about to be turned up on 2 quarterbacks in the NFC starting this year. It's going to be on Dak Prescott. It's going to be Kyler Murray. And look, before we go any further, I get financially they are secure. I know Dak just got paid last year, and I know Kyler, he's about to get paid this summer. He's about to get a mega deal for the Cardinals. Here's the why those 2 quarterbacks are on the hot seat starting this year moving forward. As we know, quarterback is by far the most important position in all sports. It's the biggest key to getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. But now, there's going to be no excuse for the Cardinals and the Cowboys if they don't get to the Super Bowl very soon in the NFC. And now, if there are struggles, if there's continuing to be first-round exits, second-round exits, postseason struggles, there's no more patience for the Cardinals or for the Cowboys, because the opportunity to make the Super Bowl has never been easier in the NFC than it's about to be. The reason why I say that, the reason why I lay it out, is because CBS Sports last week released their NFC quarterback rankings. They ranked every quarterback in the NFC from best to worst, 1 through 16. I want to read you this very quickly here. I think you will see very soon what stands out and why the pressure is going to be cranked up big time on Dak and Kyler. So very quickly, their rankings. Tom Brady, number 1 in the NFC. 2 is Aaron Rodgers. 3, Matthew Stafford. 4, Dak. 5, Kyler. Behind them, Kirk Cousins 6, Jalen Hurts 7, Carson Wentz 8, Jameis Winston 9, Trey Lance, haven't seen him, in really any sort of capacity, 10, Justin Fields 11, Jared Goff 12, Daniel Jones 13, and then they have 14. They have a 3-way tie at 14 because I guess they're too nice to say who the worst quarterback in the NFC is, so they put him in a 3-person category of Geno Smith, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold. What stands out to that list I just listed off for you, 1 through 14 of the quarterback rankings in the NFC? After Dak and Kyler, they all suck. And the top of the list, the top of the heap, are about to be out of the NFL soon. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, both could retire after this season. I think Aaron Rodgers is more likely than Tom Brady to retire after this year, but also I think Tom Brady's not going to be back at the Bucs next year. I think he could be with the Dolphins if he does return, or somewhere else. So right now, if you are a fan of the Cardinals or if you are a fan of the Cowboys, you look at that list very shortly. In a year or two, your quarterback is about to be the first or the second best quarterback in the NFC. There is no excuse for either the Cardinals or the Cowboys, either one, to not making regular trips to the Super Bowl very shortly. And it goes back. If Dak is struggling still to get to the big game, if Kyler shows you he can't really get it done in the postseason, it's time to move on. I don't care if you gave him contract extensions recently. You have to take advantage of what is a vacuum at the top of the NFC. The three best teams in this year, the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Rams, all built for short-term success. Again, I think Rodgers at the door very soon. Tom Brady's at the door very soon, at least a tad bit. So two of the three best teams in the NFC, I think next year will be knocked down dramatically because their quarterbacks either will be elsewhere or retired. The Rams, I love the Rams. I like Matthew Stafford. They are built for a 3-year window. Right? They are going all in. And let's say, what is a 4-year window that started last year? They won a Super Bowl in year number 1. So they have a very short lifespan to capitalize and win and go to the Super Bowl and win as many as they can in a very, very, very short amount of time. After that, what's the excuse for the Cowboys and the Cardinals not making it? You have Dak, you have Kyler. Are you really going to tell me that Jalen Hurts is going to stand in the way of the Cowboys getting to the Super Bowl? Are we really going to discuss Kirk Cousins getting the best of Kyler Murray in a playoff game? Carson Wentz? Jameis Winston? Trey Lance? This is your chance for the Cowboys and the Cardinals. You have to capitalize. This NFC is pathetic. It's pathetic. Again, this year we can exclude because there's still the three best teams by far: Packers, Rams, and the Buccaneers. Excuse me. They still all have quarterbacks that are playing at a high level. But again, 2 of the 3 are about to exit the league. And now if you're Dak and you're Kyler, you are the best, if not second best quarterback in the NFC. Quarterback is essential to having success in the playoffs. Quarterback is essential to making a run to the playoffs. What quarterback on that list I just gave you is truly scaring you? What quarterback on that list you identify that says, oh, well, they're better than Dak. They're going to give us a run for the money. Kyler doesn't have the quarterback advantage there. You know, the Cardinals don't stand a chance against the Saints with Jameis Winston or the Commanders with Carson Wentz. This list is disgusting for quarterbacks in the NFC. And next year, you're going to have Dak and Kyler in the top 3. Matthew Stafford, maybe 1, 2, or 3 in that mix as well. Those are the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFC. If we're not even talking NFC title game, it's time to go. It's time to move on. It's time to bring someone else in because you need to take advantage of what I'm sure will be not a very long window of bad quarterback play in the NFC. Like, if you look at the AFC list compared to the NFC list, look, I get Deshaun Watson and his actions off the field. If we look at just on the field performance, which is what CBS Sports is looking at here, CBS Sports has Deshaun Watson ranked as the 7th best quarterback in the AFC. You look at a gauntlet in the AFC filled with young quarterbacks. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Justin Herbert. You have Russell Wilson coming on over and taking over a Broncos team that's very talented. You have Derek Carr getting better weapons. You have Lamar Jackson, an MVP winner. You have all of these players, all these young quarterbacks that are gearing up to make a run in a deep AFC, and they're going to be there for a long time. They had Deshaun Watson, CBS Sports did, ranked as the 7th best quarterback in the AFC. The 7th best quarterback in the NFC is Jalen Hurts. Is there any talent comparison between Jalen Hurts and Deshaun Watson? The answer is absolutely not. That right there should highlight how big of a gap it is between the AFC and the NFC. It is almost a cakewalk. Again, starting really next year, when Brady and Rodgers are leaving their respective teams, it's a cakewalk to at least the NFC title game if you're either the Cardinals or the Cowboys. And if you, again, come up short in the postseason like the Cowboys have done, if you, again, are Steve Keim and you watch Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray melt after Thanksgiving, play their worst football in December and January, it's time to pull the plug. I don't care you gave both, if you're Steve Keim, both contract extensions. You got to move on. You got to take advantage of this window. If you're Jerry Jones, I get you love Dak. I get there's all this drama about his contract over the years, a lot of fighting, and eventually you got it done. You got to pull the plug if the Cowboys, yet again, especially at home, are getting bounced in the first round and losing to lesser quarterbacks like they did this past year in Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers. This is the time to really put all your chips in and cash in and go all in on making Super Bowl runs, because the NFC will never be easier. never be easier than it's about to be, let's say, in 2023. The pressure's on. Those quarterbacks are on the hot seat. If you can't get it done, it's time to find someone else who can. And guess what? In that loaded crop of AFC quarterbacks, you know what's going to happen very soon? They're going to see the writing on the wall. They're going to realize, am I really going to bang my head against the wall in the AFC facing, like you can have the possibility, let's say, if you're any quarterback in the AFC, where your first round matchup is Joe Burrow, your second round matchup is, let's say, I don't know, Russell Wilson, and your third round matchup could be either Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Why on earth? Let's say if you're, let's just say Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert, where you could in reality face Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen in the 3 games to get to the Super Bowl, or you look across the other side of the conference and you see you could be going against Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins, and I don't know, maybe Matthew Stafford next year. Which route are you taking? Hell, even put Dak or Kyler in there, you would take facing Dak, Kyler, and Matthew Stafford, the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFC next year, and that's an easier route than, let's say, facing what you could face in the AFC. So I think pretty soon, if you're the Vikings, if you're the Eagles, if you are even the Packers or the Buccaneers, who are going to need quarterbacks soon, you look and say, shoot, this NFC is wide open. If Dak and Kyler are the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFC, you're going to feel pretty good about your chance of getting by them. Because, again, so far in their careers, we have not seen either play well in the playoffs. We have not seen either really play well in the big moments down the stretch. So you can go pick off, I don't know, a Lamar Jackson, a Joe Burrow, a Justin Herbert. Any of those quarterbacks where their owners are either too cheap or unwilling to pay, you can get them on your team in the NFC. You are by far the favorite in that conference. That list by CBS Sports ranking all 16 quarterbacks in the NFC. And you talk about a dramatic fall from 5. When you go from Brady, Rodgers, Dak, Kyler, 1 through 5, to then just a cliff. We're talking, the Andes Mountains here from top of the peak, top quarterbacks to now. We're talking about Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz as being the next best. Oh, that is a plunge. And you look at the top, you're about to see another plunge when Brady and Rodgers retire and or leave the NFL or leave their team, go somewhere else. It is about to be extremely weak quarterback-wise in the NFC. And if you're the Cowboys and you're the Cardinals, you have your guy you think you can win. Now we're about to see if that's the case. We are about to see if Kyler Murray is worth the money, and we're about to see if Dak Prescott is worth the money, because now it will never be easier to make this Super Bowl than right now in the NFC, let's say starting 2023. The pressure's on. They're on the hot seat. I know they just got paid. Their financial future secure. But right now, that is subject to change if you continue to struggle in the postseason against this crop of quarterbacks. My goodness. So when we return here on the Ryan Hickey Show, the Warriors tonight are looking to win their 4th title. Who has the most to gain from winning a championship this year in the NBA? We'll discuss who that is when we return. Listen to the Ryan Hickey Show, Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who could change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. And who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value, market market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Ryan Hickey Show right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. As always, the 10 o'clock hour is sponsored by LC Designs. Charcuterie boards are perfect for all occasions. So make sure your guests, if you're hosting a party, having a picnic, just chilling on a nice Thursday afternoon, wanting to have a little meat and cheese in your face. Make sure your guests are happily fed with some delicious and aesthetically pleasing charcuterie boards made by Lauren Clark herself. So make sure you check out lcdesignsnyc.com, lcdesignsnyc.com for more information. So as always, around this time of the NBA Finals, Game 6, the Warriors could win their 4th title tonight. Celtics looking to get 2 more wins and win their 18th championship in their storied history. There's always legacy talk when it comes to a championship about to be won. So when we look at whether the Warriors win tonight or the Celtics win 2 more games and win their title, who stands to benefit the most from winning a championship? Whose legacy would be benefited the most by winning this title? For me, it's not Steph Curry. It's not Klay Thompson. It's not Draymond Green. It's not Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown or Ime Udoka. The one who stands to gain the most, the one whose legacy will have the biggest impact in a positive way by winning another title, this title, it's Steve Kerr. It's Steve Kerr, Warriors head coach. Because for the first time in his career, if Steve Kerr wins this championship, he would actually get credit for winning a title. His coaching would finally get the recognition it deserves for the tremendous job he has done. Fair or not, the first 3 titles in the Warriors dynasty give Kerr no credit. Basically, don't count for Steve Kerr's legacy. But if he can lead this team to the finals, we are now talking about Steve Kerr in a different light. We are talking about putting himself on a short list with some of the greatest coaches in NBA history. Those 4 titles he would have won if he wins Game 6 tonight or Game 7 on Sunday night. There would be just 5 coaches in NBA history with more titles than Steve Kerr. And we are talking about Steve Kerr in the conversation for one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. And again, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. This would by far, winning a title this year, be his greatest coaching job ever. Forget about the 73-win season where I know they lost in the finals, but had a record number of wins in the regular season. Forget about winning back-to-back titles with Kevin Durant or getting the Splash Brothers kind of off the ground in winning their first title in 2014, 2015. This by far would be Steve Kerr's greatest coaching job of his career. You look at what he would have to overcome in order to win a title. He would be able to overcome, statistically, Steph Curry's worst shooting season of his career. I get the numbers are still pretty damn good, right? Steph Curry this year from 3, 38%. And a normal year, that's pretty good for most players. Steph Curry, though, his career 3-point average never sunk below in a full season below 41%. Facts are facts. I get it's still good, but the reality is this was Steph Curry's worst 3-point shooting year. Also, he missed time towards the end of the year with a foot injury. They kind of had the Warriors in a little bit of a tailspin heading into the playoffs. So he was able to overcome Steph Curry injury and also his worst shooting season of his career. He was able to overcome Klay Thompson working his way back after missing 2.5 years worth of time because of injuries. Whether it was the torn ACL in the 2019 finals in Game 6, whether it was the ruptured Achilles working his way back from the torn ACL, he missed 2.5 years of game action, returned in early January. The fact that you could still win a title with Klay Thompson nowhere near the Klay Thompson that we last saw him on the court in 2019, it's impressive as hell. You look at Draymond Green, the heart and soul of this team, right? The Energizer Bunny, the guy who is the emotional leader, the vocal leader of this squad. He missed half the year. Forget about what he's doing in the finals, or really not doing in the finals. This guy missed basically half the season with a back injury. And the Warriors were still able to tread water enough to get the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. So you look at your 3 best players, right? Where this dynasty, this decade-long dynasty, if you will, has been built around the 3 cornerstones in Clay, in Steph, in Draymond. All 3 in different areas have had basically career lows, whether it's injury-related, whether it's performance-related, or whether it's both. Steve Kerr winning a title with those 3 pillars being older and struggling in some capacity would be impressive. But it's not just the fact that you were able to overcome struggles and injuries to win a title. It's also his coaching having a positive impact on the rest of the lineup. Look at Andrew Wiggins. He has turned Andrew Wiggins from a bust, from a write-off, from a guy that is a losing player, right? Who in Minnesota, he could score points, sure, but what was that doing for wins? Nothing. He has been able to turn that guy and flip his label around into a reliable contributor, into someone that is playing hard on both sides of the floor. He has turned Andrew Wiggins into now one of the best two-way wings in the NBA. And now getting reliable, consistent contributions from Andrew Wiggins in the biggest games of the season. Like his playoff play has been consistent, and he has been one of the most important Warriors in this stretch. Steph has been great. You can make the argument the second most important, second most impactful player in this postseason behind Steph Curry for the Warriors has been Andrew Wiggins. A large part of that success has to be credited towards Steve Kerr for getting the most out of Andrew Wiggins, for tapping into that talent that Minnesota struggled to do for a decade, and making his contributions lead to victories on the scoreboard. Steve Kerr has helped make Andrew Wiggins a reliable contributor. But it's not just Wiggins that he's developed. He's taken Jordan Poole's game to a borderline star level. I get he's struggling and he's not as explosive and impressive in the finals as he was early in the postseason. But this was a guy in Jordan Poole. I know it's been hammered home a ton. He was in the G League last year, trying to find his way, trying to find his game. And Steve Kerr was able to develop Jordan Poole's game to this point where when Steph Curry missed the final 3 weeks of the regular season with that foot injury, Jordan Poole was able to step in and play really well. Average, I believe it was off the top of my head, 26 points in that 3-week span when Steph Curry was out. He was able to get the best out of Jordan Poole and make him a reliable contributor. Then, in the postseason, when they're still trying to work Steph Curry back, when they're still trying to get that foot back to 100%, Jordan Poole started the first few games in the playoffs, and he played really well. He played really well and made it easier for Steph and took pressure off of Steph to where he could come off the bench, play less minutes, and even if he had a few rusty games where he was trying to get his game back, that was okay. The Warriors did not need Steph Curry to be 43-point, 10-rebound, Game 4 Steph Curry like we saw in the finals every night. Jordan Poole is able to become a third splash brother, make some big-time shots, and pick up the slack when Steph was hurt and or working his way back from injury. So Steve Kerr's been able to develop Andrew Wiggins into one of the most reliable contributors on the Warriors. He's been able to develop Jordan Poole's game from G League last year to now, important playoff piece. He's gotten meaningful minutes and important minutes from Kevon Looney, who now has been, again, a very important piece, a very important cog in this Warriors rotation, where he's been a beast on the glass, grabbing offensive rebounds. Sure, he's scoring a little bit here and there, dishing out rebounds, but he is dishing out assists. He has played some meaningful minutes. He's made some big-time contributions on both ends of the floor. And again, that is for Steve Kerr's player development. One of the most impressive parts about the Warriors is not only that they're winning, again, they're winning with almost a brand new cast. A lot of the guys now that are contributing that are important keys to this team were not there in the first dynasty run, if you will, 5 years ago. It's younger players. He's getting contributions from unheralded second-round picks and undrafted free agents and getting big-time contributions from them. That is player development, and that is so impressive from Steve Kerr. And for me, that's why I think his legacy is the one that stands to gain the most. Of any player, any coach in these finals, it's Steve Kerr. And think about it. You had a game in game number 5 in which Steve Kerr and the Warriors are able to win, in part when Steph Curry had an all-time bad performance. He was 0 of 9 from 3 in game number 5. First time in his playoff career, he has not hit a 3. First time in 233 straight games, he had not hit a 3. You have Draymond Green, your heart and soul, getting rattled by the crowd in Boston. This is a guy who usually does the rattling, does the intimidating, gets under the skin of opponents. And Draymond Green in this finals so far through 5 games, it's been the opposite. It's like the Celtics players, it's the Celtics fans that have really gotten in his head, and really even Draymond Green himself got it in his own head after those game 2 comments about how the officiating gives him preferential treatment over other players. He has looked shaken. He has looked rattled. His confidence has gone down, and he at one point had to be benched in game 4 with the Warriors season on the line. In the fourth quarter, when you're down 2-1 in Boston, your season on the line. You're not overcoming a 3-1 deficit to the Celtics team. Season on the line, fourth quarter on the road at Boston. Draymond Green was benched. Think about how bad you got to be for Steve Kerr to have no faith in you in that moment. Now, they put out offensive defense subs late in the game, but Draymond Green was benched for the majority of the fourth quarter. That's credit to Steve Kerr for, number 1, realizing a change has to be made. Number 2, not being afraid to make that change. And number 3, getting the most out of Draymond to where in game 5, who's a more reliable contributor. But so far, the Warriors are up 3-2 in the NBA Finals, 1 win away from their 4th championship, with Steph Curry having a career bad game in game number 5, with Draymond Green getting rattled and getting in his own head through the NBA Finals so far, and Jordan Poole, one of the Splash Brothers we hit on, one of the most impactful players leading into these finals, being a non-factor. Hitting a few shots, a few half-court shots at the end of the third quarter, otherwise not really being a main contributor, not really having a big impact, not even playing a lot of minutes at all in order to to take over a game. So far, right, when Steve Kerr, a 3-time finals winner, this is now his 6th finals appearance. But really, unfortunately, fair or not, his accomplishments have been overlooked at this point. In part because the talent gets credit. Year number 1, they won the title 14-15. It's Steph, it's Clay, it's Draymond, this fun young team. They just go on a rampage and win, and they beat a depleted Cavs team when LeBron was the hero, but no one else was healthy enough to contribute around him. Then obviously we know they get Kevin Durant after that 73-win season. Then it's just the unfair Warriors. KD, Steph, Clay, they're going to win no matter what. It was a major disappointment, major fail. If they didn't win a title, which they won 2, and the third one they would have won, I think, if not for the injuries. But you see, Steve Kerr has gotten 0 credit because for the most part, it's been about the talent. It would have been a failure if the Warriors didn't win those titles, the 3 they did in that dynastic run, because they were just so much more talented, so much better than everyone else in the league. Now, should he get more credit for the offense? Absolutely. He didn't. Should he get more credit for helping to integrate Kevin Durant into that lineup? Absolutely, he doesn't. He had 0 credit for the first 3 titles. Now, though, you win a title this year. You win a title tonight. I don't want to say it validates the first 3, but it makes those first 3 look a hell of a lot more impressive and gives Steve Kerr almost retroactive respect that he deserves. Like, you look at the list right now. If he gets title number 4, either tonight or Sunday, I mentioned before, there's only 5 other head coaches that would have more titles than Steve Kerr. Those 5 coaches, Phil Jackson, legendary coach, Red Auerbach, legend, Pat Riley, immortal, Greg Popovich, all-time great, John Kundla. That's it. That's the list that would have more titles than Steve Kerr. All-time greats. And Steve Kerr would have to be in that conversation. This title tonight does more for Steve Kerr's legacy than any other player or coach in the finals. Steph Curry's legacy has already been set. I don't want to hear about Steph Curry needing a finals MVP. Baloney. The guy has changed the game. His legacy is changing the entire way the sport is played with three-point shot. He has revolutionized the game. He has changed the way players approach the game. He has changed the way the game is played. He has changed the way teams build their rosters. Everything that right now we see in today's game has been impacted by Steph Curry. He's never going to be MJ. He's never going to be LeBron because their physical dominance was different. But Steph Curry changed the way the game is played. He doesn't need another finals championship. He doesn't need another finals MVP to validate that. It's already set in stone. Klay Thompson, been great. His legacy is what it is. Draymond Green, same thing. Ime Udoka in his first year's title, that would be tremendous. But his career is so young and still so much more to go that he has a long way to build that legacy. Jayson Tatum, sure, and make his career a hell of a lot easier and take a lot of pressure off of him if he's able to win a championship. And that would probably cement his legacy or cement his status as one of the best players in the NBA right now. Kind of similar to the way that it helped Giannis cement his status as the best player in the NBA. When he win a title, people look differently. But still, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown are so young that they'll have other chances, and they have so much more room to grow in their legacies and their careers that one championship isn't making them. It's not. The one who stands to gain the most from winning a title, it's Steve Kerr. And for me, it's not even close. How about yourself here? Whose legacy stands to gain the most by winning this NBA Finals? I say Steve Kerr. Do you agree? Or do you think it's Steph? I think it's Jayson Tatum, Ime Udoka, whoever. Love to hear your thoughts here. Facebook Worldwide Sports Network. You can tweet me at Ryan_Hickey, Ryan Hickey Show, or Ryan_Hickey, the number 3. That's my personal Twitter. If you want to interact with the show handle, that is at Ryan Hickey Show. And if you want to check out Instagram or TikTok, if you want to see a funny outtake video that I just posted there last night about me screwing up a peanut butter review of Smucker's, take a look and take a listen and take a laugh at my expense. It's very brutal. I am awful on camera. And there was a lot of outtakes that I think would get you laughing pretty well. So if you wanted to take a laugh at my expense, Instagram, TikTok, Ryan Hickey Shows, where you can check that out. If you want to answer the questions we're talking about here, whose legacy stands to gain the most, Facebook Worldwide Sports Network, Twitter, Ryan Hickey Show, YouTube, check us out, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. When we return, there's been one quarterback that for me, the hype train has left the station and it's out of control. We got the latest example yesterday to explain who that is and why I'm nervous, actually, that this quarterback's being overhyped. We'll discuss why when we return this into the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy. You don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council. Okay, Simon, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. And what do people normally wear?
Clothes.
Exactly. So now Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Clothes keep us warm, they look good, and if we go out without them, the neighbors will talk. So it's important to know how to get dressed. Here's how it's done. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole, or you have to start all over. If you're wearing a tie, it goes over, round, through, and pull tight. Tuck your shirt into your pants and zip up your fly. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with funny ears. Good to know. Now remember, spots don't go with stripes, socks don't go with sandals, and if you've tucked in your shirt, wear a belt. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit tunein2x.org. That's That's 2men2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If doors shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Stop making your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier. It could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing. Visit 2men2x.org. That's 2men2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council. It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Ryan Hickey Show with you on this Thursday morning. We appreciate you making us a part of your Thursday right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. All right. So let's get into a discussion that I think has gotten out of control. The hype train for Justin Herbert, I think, has left the station. There's one thing that bothers me when it comes to quarterback discussion. I feel like sometimes there's not one consensus. There's different levels of praise or criticism for different quarterbacks, and that drives me crazy. Some are praised even though they have faults. Others are, I think, unfairly criticized when they have more success than what they give credit for. The unbalanced scales when it comes to how we either praise or criticize quarterbacks drives me insane. I think we are seeing it now with Justin Herbert. I think he has been the most overhyped quarterback this offseason. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying the guy stinks. He's a very good quarterback. And I think he's going to be a very good quarterback this year. But what I've been seeing, what I've been reading and listening to this offseason, I think the expectations for Justin Herbert are too high. I think for me, again, we have seen a lot of discussion about Justin Herbert. He's been a hot MVP candidate. The Chargers have been a hot team. I feel like right now the expectations for Justin Herbert are that people think he's going to be Patrick Mahomes in 2018. 50 touchdown passes, MVP. Or 2019 Lamar Jackson, where he was unstoppable and by far the best quarterback and best player in the NFL that season. And I think because those standards are so high, there's going to be a lot of disappointed people this year after the season's over when Justin Herbert doesn't reach those highs. And that's okay. He doesn't have to be 2018 Patrick Mahomes or 2019 Lamar Jackson. When I look at Justin Herbert, when I look at the Chargers specifically this year, there's only one goal in my mind: make the playoffs. The only goal in 2022, the only objective, the only way to measure success or failure, I think, is a playoff berth. If you look at the AFC, this conference is grueling. Every single team, it felt like, had some sort of major improvement to get better. Bills add Von Miller. They already have a very loaded team. The Bengals add to their offensive line. They shore up their biggest weakness after making an appearance in the Super Bowl. The Browns, will see what Deshaun Watson's like this year, but the Browns got a big-time upgrade at quarterback on the field in Deshaun Watson. The Ravens are going to be healthier this year than they were last year with Lamar Jackson. You have the Chiefs. I know they traded away Tyreek Hill. You still have Patrick Mahomes. You still have Andy Reid. The Raiders went all out to get Devonta Adams. The Broncos got Russell Wilson. This AFC is a grueling nightmare for any quarterback to get through. And just look at the AFC West. It's a gauntlet, man. Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs. That is awful in terms of how hard it's going to be. That is by far the toughest division in the NFL. So when you look at how tough just the Chargers division is, when you look at how grueling, how elite the quarterback play is in the AFC overall, for me, just making the playoffs in 2022, finally getting Justin Herbert playing meaningful January football, it's the only goal. And if you make the playoffs, I don't care if Justin Herbert has 10 touchdowns or 60 touchdowns. It's a success. But right now, you're looking at the hype of Justin Herbert. The bar is not playoffs. The bar is like MVP. The bar is like best player in the NFL. And that's asking a lot. I think it's asking too much for a player that hasn't really accomplished anything yet. He's had 2 really good years, 30-plus touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons. He has been better than, honestly, coming out of college, I could ever imagine. I'll be honest. But also with that said, let's let Justin Herbert maybe develop a little bit more before putting these unreal expectations on him. And the latest example that I think are unfair, unrealistic expectations for Justin Herbert this year came from Phil Simms. NBC Sports, Phil Simms this offseason just finished releasing his top 40 list of quarterbacks heading to 2022. He ranked the top 40 quarterbacks of this year, and he had Justin Herbert 3rd. He had Josh Allen 1, he had Patrick Mahomes 2, and then right there at number 3 is Justin Herbert. And I'm sorry, I think that's absurd. I think it's absolutely absurd to have Justin Herbert 3rd on that list. Quickly, off the top of my head, I put Joe Burrow above Justin Herbert. I put Aaron Rodgers. I put Tom Brady. I put Russell Wilson right now above Justin Herbert in terms of quarterback rankings. But here we are going and hyping up Justin Herbert to have this insane monster MVP type season. Now, I think you're asking too much. But it's not just Phil Simms. How about Peter King? Peter King last month put a power rankings system out, or put a power rankings out, I should say, not system. It's his own system. Power rankings out of all 32 NFL teams heading to training camp. Peter King, someone who's mild-mannered, very well respected, doesn't really fall into the hyperbolic chamber as much as others. He had the Chargers as the 2nd best team in the NFL. Number 2. I don't even have the Chargers number 2 in their own division. I think the Chiefs are still better. I think the Broncos right now are better than the Chargers. But here we are seeing the hype train of LA, seeing the hype train of the Chargers running off the rails. Peter King, one of the most respected, down the middle, doesn't really fall into the, overreaction chamber, has the Chargers as the 2nd best team heading into 2022. Phil Simms has Justin Herbert, the 3rd best quarterback in all the NFL. That to me is absurd. That to me is trying to build up Justin Herbert only to be disappointed. Like, for whatever reason, Justin Herbert has been the darling of the offseason. Look, I'm not saying he's bad. He's very good. But my question comes in, and why we're getting so enamored and so obsessed and putting these, I think, unreal expectations on Justin Herbert. It's like we forget about all the other greatness in just the AFC alone. Did we forget what Joe Burrow did? We're playing behind one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. He was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in 2021. Took this Bengals team to the Super Bowl. Had a great season in year 2. Do we think he's going to suck next year? Do we think he's not going to get any better now that he has protection in front of him in the offensive line? Now that Jamar Chase is going to be in year number 2, you still have T. Higgins. You still have Tyler Boyd. You still have Joe Mixon. Joe Burrow's only going to get better, I think. Do we forget about how great he was in the playoffs? Like, let's not forget about Joe. Why isn't Joe Burrow getting this much hype, this much attention, this much praise going into 2022 when he, unlike Justin Herbert, actually accomplished something in getting the Bengals to the Super Bowl and winning and playing really well in big games. Do we think Russell Wilson going to a team now where he has arguably the best offensive supporting cast around him, do you think he's going to fall flat in his face? Where for the first time in his career, he has a head coach that actually embraces offense, that actually wants to play to Russell Wilson's strengths. Do we think he's just going to fall flat on his face in Denver? I don't. Josh Allen, is he going to stink this year? Patrick Mahomes, is he going to just fall off a cliff because Tyreek Hill is no longer there? Look, I can't sit here and I'm not saying Justin Herbert's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying he's even a decent quarterback. He is a very good quarterback so far through 2 years in the NFL. I like the offseason the Chargers had. I like Brandon Staley's aggressiveness. I like the supporting cast Justin Herbert has around him on the offensive end. With that said, though, I think the hype for Herbert this year has gotten to a point where it's unrealistic. Saying he's the third best quarterback in the NFL, having the Chargers as the second best team in the NFL, I think is unfair and putting unrealistic expectations on a quarterback that, fair or not, has not accomplished anything so far in this league. He's played great individually, and sure, I get Week 18. We all watched that Sunday night game against the Raiders, in which he put up some big numbers, and the Raiders won on a walk-off field goal in overtime. But there's other games where Justin Herbert struggled mightily that cost the Chargers a playoff position. They got blown out by the Texans late in the year. He struggled to throw 2 picks against the Patriots in a bad loss at home. He struggled against the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Herbert has had his fair share of bad games. Let's not let recency bias here. The last game we saw of Justin Herbert in Las Vegas against the Chargers make him out to be this all-time great quarterback than he's really, make him better out to be than he really is. The AFC is so brutal. The AFC West is so deep and loaded with quarterback talent. Like, I just can't sit here and say Justin Herbert, MVP candidate. Chargers, best team in the AFC or second best team in the AFC. I can't do it. I got to see it. There's plenty of quarterbacks and there's plenty of situations where I don't have to see it to believe it. Last year, for example, I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I thought Matthew Stafford was a missing piece for LA. Before the season even started, preseason, Rams my Super Bowl pick. Guess what? That worked out pretty well. Even though a lot of people didn't see Matthew Stafford having a lot of success in Detroit, I really thought he was better than what he got credit for and was going to be a perfect fit in that Sean McVay offense. Example A of a quarterback being unfairly judged because of the circumstances that were surrounding him. Matthew Stafford was with a bad team, with a bad O-line, bad coaching staff in Detroit. People want to point to his record against winning teams or his lack of playoff success or just lack of getting the Lions to the playoffs. Can we see how stupid that is when you actually put Matthew Stafford in a good situation? Guess what? He made some of the biggest throws of the season in order for the Rams to win the Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson. Now, it's not everyone, but there's talks, and I've been on the radio, on CBS Sports Radio, on here, where I've had arguments with callers and fans that try to poo-poo Deshaun Watson and say he's not very good because when he last played in 2020, the Texans were 4-12. It's that unfair expectation, that unfair judgment for one quarterback and saying he's not as good as he truly is versus hyping up another who, to me, hasn't really accomplished anything in the NFL, Justin Herbert, that drives me bonkers. It's the scales that are constantly sliding that drives me insane. All I want is consistency. And I don't think we have that. And I think Justin Herbert's the latest example of it. His hype train has left the station. It's a runaway train now. It's going off the tracks. Chris Sims is all in. Peter King's drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not. My expectation for the Chargers and Justin Herbert, make the playoffs. In a brutal AFC, in a very tough division, make the playoffs. Not MVP, not best player in the NFL, not 2018 Patrick Mahomes-like or 2019 Lamar Jackson-like. Make the playoffs. That is it. But I feel like those expectations are bare minimum. No one's saying that. How about you? What are your expectations for Justin Herbert going into this year? Is he the most overhyped quarterback heading into the 2022 season? Love to hear your thoughts here on Facebook, Worldwide Sports Network. You can tweet me at Ryan Hickey Show or check us out on YouTube, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. When we return, as we have the US Open going, let me update you quickly on the leaderboard here. Apologies. I don't know if you could see it on the stream. Doesn't look like it, but at the US Open going on in the background, Matthew Neesmith, Colin Morikawa, Stuart Hagestad, amateur. All right now, 3 under. Those are your leaders. Rory McIlroy having a strong now push. He is 2 under through 11. You have John Rahm sitting at 1 under. Max Homa, a fan favorite, sitting at 1 under. Jordan Spieth has not gone off to the best start. Let's see where Spieth is. He was at 1.3 over. He really struggled. Then it got it to 1 over. Will Zalatoris so far is 1 over. Jordan Spieth right now 2 over through 11. So right now, the U.S. Open course, right, they play strong. They want to have low scores. Right now, the leaders, 3-way tie, Colin Morikawa, your co-leader at 3 under par through the front 9. Brooks Koepka, my guy, my pick to win the U.S. Open. He'll tee off later on. Phil Mickelson will get on the course 147 as well. That's obviously going to be a polarizing player. Don't think he should get booed, and I don't think he will either. I think the fans will give Phil a warm greeting, which he deserves. When we return here, Game 6 is tonight. This, to me, has a Jayson Tatum game written all over to explain why when we return. Listen to the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Ryan Hickey Show, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Happy Thursday to you. Thanks so much for making us a part of your morning. Game 6 tonight. I think the Celtics are winning Game 6, protecting home court and send this series back to the Bay for a Game 7. Because I think tonight we are getting a Jayson Tatum game. I think he's taken over the game. I think he's going to lead the Celtics to victory. And when I say Jayson Tatum game, I'm not talking about him scoring 40 points to drag this team to victory. I'm not talking about another 46-point performance like he had in game 6 in Milwaukee with the Celtics down 3-2 in the second round. I'm talking about a Jayson Tatum game where he does two things. Takes care of the basketball, aka not turn it over, and is a playmaker on offense. I think more importantly, the two most important stats to focus on tonight if you're the Celtics: turnovers, assists. And if you're Jayson Tatum, those are by far the two most important stats you have to look at. I think that's going to be the key to victory tonight for Boston. You play clean, crisp basketball. You don't turn the ball over when you're on offense. And even if you're not scoring, you work as a facilitator. This Celtics team is winning tonight in Game 6. Hey, the formula to win is not crazy. The Celtics, for me, have really kind of shot themselves in the foot this entire series with mistakes, with lacks of focus, with bad turnovers, with bad shot selection. All you really got to do is if you play clean, crisp basketball, limit the turnovers, move the ball, especially if you're Jayson Tatum, and you are a playmaker. Forget about score. If you're a playmaker, those are the keys to me, to winning Game 6 tonight and extending the series to a game number 7. It starts with Jayson Tatum. He is the star of the team. First team All-NBA. The team does follow in the tracks of their leader, of their best player. Jayson Tatum needs to set the tone tonight, and by doing so, playmake and keep the ball secure. The Celtics don't need Jayson Tatum to score 46 points tonight in order to win. They don't. Because they have won games in these finals when Jayson Tatum has gone 3 of 17 from the floor. It's why, for me, the more important number for Tatum tonight is not points, it's assists. If he can still get the offense rolling, if he could still open up shots and better looks for Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown and Al Horford, and maybe get Robert Williams on some mismatches down low, that, to me, his ability to create offense for others, his ability to take the attention of the Warriors defense on him and then find the open guy, get him better looks, that, to me, is the biggest key for the Celtics offense to get going here in game number 6. His playmaking, his assist numbers, to me, are even more important than the actual point total that Jayson Tatum scores. Because, again, when you go 3-17 from the floor to have 13 assists, this Celtics team is deep enough and talented enough to still get contributions elsewhere in order to win. So as long as Jayson Tatum tonight is a playmaker on offense, not a scorer, a playmaker, that to me is a big key in how the Celtics are going to win game number 6. And also, simply, don't turn the ball over, man. If you don't give the Warriors extra possessions, if you don't allow them to get fast breaks and 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s and turn your poor turnovers into transition offense and points, the Celtics are winning tonight in Game 6. As long as they don't give away freebies like they have, they are winning, because the Celtics have showed you when they have played their best game, when they just play clean, crisp basketball, forget about even playing at your best. If you just eliminate the mistakes, you are the better team and you are winning. Game 3 is a perfect example. That was by far their cleanest and I thought most crisp game from start to finish. They won handily. Why? Because they're the better team. When they're not giving the Warriors second, third opportunities, when they're rebounding the ball with their size advantage, and when they are just moving the ball in offense, getting good shots, not settling for tough shots, this team, to me, is the better team, and they are going to win the finals. That starts tonight, and it starts with Jayson Tatum. Assist numbers, turnover numbers, the two big stats to look at for Tatum and the Celtics offense tonight. As long as he's playmaking, as long as he's getting open looks, and even if he's not scoring, but finding Smart, finding Brown, getting them better looks, this Celtics team is going to win. And as long as he specifically is not turning the ball over, I think that's contagious. When your stars turn it over, I think that does lead to other players on the team turn the ball over. The Celtics are going to win this game. Again, we have seen Jayson Tatum, yes, have a 46-point outburst. We know that is in him to have a big game and carry this team. It's not necessary, though. The Warriors needed Steph Curry's Game 4 performance of 43 points and 10 rebounds. They needed that. With their season on the line, they needed their star player to go off and carry the team. He did. And credit to the Warriors, the next game, they picked Steph Curry up when he had a bad game. The Celtics don't need a similar Game 4 Steph Curry-like performance from Jayson Tatum tonight in Game 6. They don't. All they need is clean, crisp basketball. And the Celtics have been a very up and down, inconsistent team. That in part also has to do with Jayson Tatum. Like, a team goes as their best player goes more often than not. Tatum this postseason has been up and down. Shooting-wise, that has led to the Celtics being up and down this postseason. He's had issues with turnovers. He leads all players in the finals at 18 turnovers. He leads all players in the NBA with 95 turnovers this postseason, which is a record for turnovers in a single postseason. Celtics have had turnover issues in part because their best player is turning it over, is giving it away, fumbling the basketball. I do think Tatum is able to secure the ball. It sets a tone for the Celtics going the rest of the way, and it allows them to play better on offense. If not, if the turnover issues persist, if Tatum is struggling but also not, dishing out the rock and not setting others up, the Celtics are losing. They're losing. And the Warriors are going to win their 4th title. It's going to be in Boston. It's going to be very painful. And the Warriors dynasty is going to continue, and they're going to get a lot of praise. The Celtics, to me, have been the better team. The story of these finals, has been the Celtics blowing opportunities more than the Warriors playing well. I'm not saying the Warriors haven't played well. They have. Steph Curry in Game 4 is tremendous, and he won them that game. And the Warriors, whether it's Andrew Wiggins, whether it's Klay Thompson at times, or it's even Draymond Green, to their credit, they have made plays when it counted. But I feel so far through 5 games watching this series like the Celtics have really shot themselves in the foot. Bad turnovers, getting out-rebounded, and not being the more physical team despite having the size and strength advantage. Just lacks of focus at times, not seeing like you have fire under you, not seeming to take the moment and run with it. Bad shot selection. Like, there's been a lot of different areas where I think the Celtics have been subpar and been their own worst enemy. So this is a time where you just got to play clean basketball. And that's why, for me, the biggest key is not Jayson Tatum scoring 40 points. It's not Jaylen Brown, having a big efficient night of, let's say, 25 and 10, or Marcus Smart going for 25 points. The key to victory tonight for the Celtics is very simple. The game plan doesn't have to be extravagant. It's really, honestly, I hate to boil it down here, but your season on the line in Game 6 at home, down 3-2 in the finals. All you got to do is lock in. Don't turn the ball over. Rebound. That's it. You do those areas well. You are winning this game because you are the better team. You're the bigger team. You're the more talented team. You're the deeper team. The Celtics really just have to keep things simple. It's why it's so maddening to watch this series and watch the Warriors come so close right now to win their 4th title. Because it doesn't, not that I haven't earned it, but it has been, I feel, more given to them because the Celtics have been their own worst enemy. They've been inconsistent. The Warriors have capitalized, which you commend them on, and that's what championship teams do. You take advantage of the moment. You take advantage of the breaks other teams give you, and the Warriors have absolutely done that. But the Celtics have showed you when they don't give the ball away, when they rebound, when they don't give second and third opportunities, when Jayson Tatum and the rest of the crew, Smart, Brown, are just moving the ball and playing unselfish basketball, this team is good, and this team is winning the finals. The issue is we haven't seen it at a consistent rate just yet. Celtics win tonight in Parks. I think a big Jayson Tatum game is coming. So that'll do it for this edition of the Ryan Hickey Show. Have a very great weekend and an early happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to my dad, Joe Hickey. I know he's listening. Big fan of the show. I appreciate your support as always. Can't wait to hang with you this weekend. So happy Father's Day. Have a great weekend with your fathers. Enjoy the US Open. Let's go, Brooks. I'm hoping for a big performance from Brooks Koepka here at the Brookline course up in Boston. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Thursday right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.